Welcome back, friends. We are going to do the review of the book Sati. This is a continuation of the same book. This book is Sati, Evangelics, Baptist Missionaries and the Changing Colonial Discourse by Meenakshi Jain. Very famous author and recommended book. If you want to know more about the discourse, the narrative that was created during that period of time of India in the 17th century, basically 18th century in general, how it was created and how it has impacted the society in general. The notion regarding Sati being very prevalent, very common is all not true, and this book is a testimony to that. You can read in detail about all the aspects of that particular incident called Sati, which is used often to degrade and tell things about India in a negative narrative. Let us start with some facts. I have already started this book review. This is the I think the third part of the review, or third or the second part of the review. Let me start here. This review will cover page number 105 to 199. I am doing it in slots because this book is very huge and there is too much knowledge in this book regarding all the aspects of Sati. It's a very well researched book, and every person who likes reading will definitely like this book. This review starts with chapter number 6. It is the Evangelical Elitarian Alliance. The Oxford meaning for evangelical is relating to a Christian group emphasizing the Bible authority and personal salvation through faith, or being very enthusiastic and persuasive about a cause. The Oxford meaning for utilitarian is as an adjective means designed to be useful and practical rather than attractive or decorative. So you can draw your conclusions. I will not be adding my perspective. I'll be reading out what a particular word means, and you can use Google and other dictionaries to know the meaning of the words, because there will be some words that are very beautiful and has a meaning. I will now read out the second para on page number 105. It says, many commentators argued that the only way to counter French threat was to extend and perpetuate the British Empire. The period of the French wars indeed witnessed the greatest expansion of British imperial dominions. By 1820, 26% of world's population lived in British territories. The global conflict with France and the expansion of British Empire in response to French threat ensured the colonial and domestic issues were inextricably linked. Express the conflict between the British and the French governments and how this conflict was played out in India. And this had resulted to innumerable Indian losses of life, dignity, and even losing one's belief system and wealth also, because this led to wars and many other things. On page number 107, we read about a man by the name James Mill. James Mill wrote the history of British India. James Mill wrote a book called The History of British India, and you will all be surprised to know that this person never landed in India. So how did he write it? He wrote this book in 1870. This book has resulted in creating many fake narratives about India, which was exploited to the end and used it for the benefit of growth of British Empire. What did James Mill write about India? James Mill writes here on page number 108 of the book. Mill categorized Hindu civilization as representing the rudest and the weakest state of human mind. So he is telling that Indians were a rude and weakest state of human mind. This person never came to India. Imagine this book later on was used by people in civil service. All these brown sahibs read this book. This book created a kind of narrative of which was detrimental to Indian pride, which was opposite of what reality was. It was not that we only had people like James Mills, we also had people who stood in front of them to correct them. On page number 111, you can read that in his effort to belittle Hindu achievements, James Mill viewed Sir William Jones as his intellectual nemesis, charged Jones of being promiscuous in his use of the term civilization. It was unfortunate, Mill stated, that a mind so pure, so warm in the purest of truth, and so devoted to Oriental learnings as that of Sir William Jones should have adopted the hypothesis of a high state of civilization in the principal countries of Asia. So, according to James Mills, India could not have any kind of high civilization. Going further, on the same page, it says, page number 112, both James Mill and Charles Grant maintained silence over Jones' central thesis regarding kinship between European and Indians and similarity between Sanskrit, Latin and Greek. Here we see that Jones was able to connect some dots. I will give you an example. There is a word called navigation. It is said that this word came from Naugati. This is a Sanskrit term. There are many words like this. So there is a continuity of language. Language is said to be the carrier of emotions, of culture, and many more things. You see, there is a continuity. On page number 113, if you read this para, in 1803, the British forces entered Delhi and ousted the Marathas from the imperial capital. The final win in the Third Maratha War in 1817 to 1819, during the governor generalship of Marquis of Hastings, ensured that no political rebels remained. It means there was a big Maratha Empire period between what we have been taught in history is completely different from what reality is. There was the presence of a British Empire. Before that, there was the presence of a Maratha. In this book, at different places, you will hear the word about a place called Fort William, which is in West Bengal, in Kolkata. This fort has been a center of for the British Empire for a long time, and how it comes in the picture we will later on see as we progress ahead. For example, in 1804, as per page 121 of this book, in 1804, while Vice Provost at Fort William, Buchanan instituted prizes in 7 public schools and universities in England, awarding £100 each for the best compositions by students. The essays selected were on subjects like, now pay attention to the name of the subjects, the essay names. The best means of civilizing the subjects of the British Empire in India. It was the topic of essay. And of diffusing light of the Christian religion through the Eastern world. Printing was used as a medium to create books, write books of different narratives, and then spread it across so that a particular viewpoint is spread at a speed of fire and that can be used to grow. There's a continuous spreading of a particular narrative which suited the cause.